But don't look in your rearview mirror, here comes number 8. He's a rocker and a roller and he sure knows how to shut 'em down. I guess he runs independent until the dead is back in town. Yeah, I guess he runs independent until the dead is back in town. That boy, stand on it, son.
And welcome to the Nasboys podcast. Now, did you know that there is a rumor that Talladega is actually built on an ancient Indian burial ground? The myth has been documented by drivers, crews, and team owners. They love to tell the story because of coincidences of nasty crashes almost every year at the Speedway. So anyways, guys, welcome to the Nasboys podcast. I'm your host, Mike, aka Mike Bob Fam 101, with my good friend and co-host Christian, aka C Will, or Savage NASCAR.
What's up, guys? And yeah, paranormal activity is quite a big rumor and known rumor at Talladega.
Yes, you might have known that from the Slap Shoes video, but just in case you didn't, here it is. So anyways, guys, let's get down to talking about some NASCAR. We are going to start off with the truck race. The races this week were at Las Vegas. What did you think?
I didn't get to watch it live. I heard that the truck race was actually the worst race other than the Cup race. People are saying that the Xfinity race was better, but I just didn't see how the truck race was any better than Xfinity, in my opinion, or the Cup. So I will say that it is really cool to see Christian Eckes get his first career win. I met him at Daytona before, back in 2019. It's about time he went to victory lane. I was like, man, when is he going to win? I kind of said that last week. Whenever Brandon Smith, was it Brandon Smith? My brain just went dead. So my apologies. But Chandler Smith, I said that last week. It was about time that he won. Well, it's about time that Eckes won. So we saw that 2 first-time winners 2 weeks in a row. I didn't think the truck race was like really crazy or anything. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, the whole weekend, in my opinion, was not really too eventful. Like, it had decent racing, nothing that like I can be like, oh my God, that was the greatest racing I've ever seen in my life. But also nothing where it wasn't like I couldn't keep my eyes on the TV and I was counting the laps down. So just an all right race, nothing too big. That was crazy to see the Thor Sport top 4. I believe it was the first or second time that's happened in Truck Series history. So
Yes.
that's really cool to see, and I wasn't expecting Eckes to win. So now let's take a look at what you guys had to say. 2 of you said great, 1 of you said good, 1 of you said meh/okay, and 1 of you said bad. Henry24257 says, didn't watch, but the last 3 laps looked good, 8 out of 10. And the driver today is nobody, so I guess I'll give it to John Hunter Nemechek.
Oh, I mean, he did lead some of that race. It's either between him or Eckes, in my opinion. So I would have to go with Nemechek as well.
All right, now let's talk about the Xfinity race. What did you think?
I felt like the Xfinity race was the best race of this weekend. We saw Josh Berry go to victory lane, if I'm correct, for the second time this year. It's really cool to see him get the win, and he's, of course, been replacing, or the replacement driver for Michael Annett, who basically got hurt, unable to contend for the championship this year. But it's really cool to see Barry go back to victory lane. Same thing with Junior Motorsports. Big fan of Junior Motorsports. So I found it a W. One thing that was quite interesting, I kind of felt bad about, was before the race, on one of the NASCAR accounts I run, I messaged Jeb Burton because I've communicated with him a couple times in there. I said, "Hey Jeb, I hope you have a good race today." He said, "Yeah, thanks. We'll try best we can." And then he gets caught up in that big wreck, and I'm like, "Oh boy." Like it's just like, bro, like he just ends up getting taken out in this massive pileup. If you didn't see it, here's the clip.
Some 4 wide, I guess. I didn't really see a replay yet, but not really sure why. 2 cars up there, 98. I don't know. It looked like we all met there, but I don't really think we need to be 4 wide getting into 1 on lap 26. So I don't know. Nothing we could do there.
It was a good race. So I mean I enjoyed watching the highlights of it. Definitely best race of the weekend.
Oof, that sucks that you might have jinxed Jeb. But
I might have.
this was a solid race, I'd say. I didn't expect Josh Berry to win. I don't think anyone did. I thought Allgaier was going to win it, but Josh Berry, he's a pretty good driver. I think that's a statement that Michael Annett is not great and he's only in there for funding. So, yeah, decent race. So now let's take a look at what you guys had to say about it. 3 of you said great. 4 of you said good. 1 of you said meh/okay, and none of you said bad. Henry24257 says, other than that stage 1 wreck, pretty uneventful. Fell asleep during the 3rd stage. 6 out of 10. And Austin Hawkins 018 says Berry win. And the driver today is Josh Berry. I mean, I could agree with that. He got his way up in the field. I mean, the only other vote I would think of is Allgaier. So really between those 2 guys.
Yeah, I'd have to say the same.
And now let's talk about the Cup race. What did you think? This is a bruh moment. More.
Man, I've never seen such a snore fest. If you agree, comment snore down below. But yes, a lot of people thought that this was a very boring race. I will say that NASCAR, we said this when we did the schedule. We talked about schedule before. If it was last episode or the episode before. No more 2 races at Las Vegas, please. And not in the playoffs.
Right.
It makes me want to fall asleep. I'm tired right now just talking about it, man. Like, I mean, no, I'm not hating, but at the same time, like, this is probably my least favorite track on the schedule. Like, I just don't get the hype around it. And it was a snore fest. It made people go to sleep, and it wasn't exciting. It was like a 2 out of 10, maybe even worse.
Wow. I mean, I don't know if I'd rate it that low. That's like Atlanta 1 level. But it was decent, I guess. I mean, the restarts, I mean, I felt like I've said this about all the boring races this season. The restarts in all 3 series were incredible. We saw 3-4 wide racing on the restarts, and then within like 10 laps they go single file. But it was just decent. That's all I gotta say. This package is just good for decent racing, not making it incredible racing like what we want. And Hamlin won, which made it even worse, but whatever. So now let's take a look at what you guys have to say. 1 of you said great. 1 of you said good. 0 of you said meh/okay, and none of you said bad. And the one who said great was you, Christian. Why did you say that, but yet you were saying it's a snore?
What happened was I did that for a joke. It was either that or I had to have, like, I guess was trying to tap and accidentally tapped it or something. But you know my opinion of it now. I don't know how well my acting skills were there, but I tried to get my setup pretty well. But driver of the day, Dennis Hamlin.
I have to agree, Dennis Hamlin. And
people are saying he might be now like the top contender to win the championship, but we all know that he usually chokes. So I don't know, man. I still haven't picked him to win the championship this year.
I still gotta go with Larson. I mean, I feel like that he can just stay consistent enough until Phoenix. So, but Denny's definitely up there, but we all know how either he chokes or his team chokes. So we'll see what happens with Dennis.
Yeah,
Henry24257 says no comment. You just commented. Also hate Sunday night racing. That's not that bad.
That might be a valid point because well, I mean, it depends because most people want to watch football on Sunday night, but at the same
True.
time, I feel like they should move NASCAR races and the Cup Series up more. Like they shouldn't be at 3 o'clock Eastern time. They should be at like 1, like they used to. But of course, it's people that want to watch in the Pacific Coast.
Right, but there's still a problem. Like if you move it to 1, a lot of games start at 1 o'clock. Besides the West Coast games. So, well, unless you live on the West Coast, but since we live on the Eastern Coast, that would be 4 o'clock for us. But
I would say they should do that for like spring races or like at the beginning of the
I agree.
season. Have the races start around 1, and
I
then
agree.
for, of course, when the football season hits, like at least start the race at 2:30 or 3.
I mean, I like Saturday racing, Saturday night racing. I like that a lot, like short track racing on a Saturday.
Yeah,
So
I do too.
if they kept that during the playoffs, that would be great. And the driver of the day votes were Denny Hamlin and Brad. We already said our picks. Denny Hamlin. So let's get to talking about some news here. First off, well, actually, we got something to talk about here. Joey Gase, he had a big crash, and he actually went to the hospital for it. It was really bad, like a Daytona type crash. Here's the clip, or a picture of it at least. So that was not broadcasted on TV, which very disappointing by NBC. And this is the second time a Rick Ware driver has gone to the hospital within the past month. Cody Ware also went to the hospital because of carbon dioxide poisoning. So I don't know what's going on with Rick Ware, but they're not making their cars safe from what it seems like.
Well, I mean, they are a smaller team, and NBC not being able to capture good footage of it. I mean, that happens with sporting events sometimes. So you have so many cameras and so much action on the track that sometimes you're not able to get everything. So I can understand why they weren't able to get it. But it was a hard hit for sure. That's definitely one of the hardest hits I've seen at Las Vegas, and I haven't seen the car get up in the air at Las Vegas in a long time. We covered the worst Las Vegas crashes earlier this season on an episode, and a lot of those wrecks where the cars were airborne were back in the 90s and even earlier. So it did quite surprise me, I would say, and hopefully he has a good recovery and he's doing all right. That was a pretty vicious wreck.
He got out of the hospital, but I don't know if he's going to be racing this weekend. So you'll probably find out when this episode gets uploaded. Ford and Toyota reveal new truck bodies. They look more like a pickup to me. Like I like how NASCAR is going back to the more stock look and how they're looking like what you see in production. Starting out with the Ford truck, they mostly changed the front end. It does make it look a lot more like a pickup than just like an unrealistic version of a race truck. I like it. I'll give it a 10 out of 10. I like it. And then the Tundra looks really cool. I like the detail, especially in the front part of it. That definitely looks like I'm looking at a pickup truck. That's another 10. I like them both a lot.
That was a terrible look and agreed. Apparently my E's look like cheese, but you get the point. I agree with you, Mike. I like how they're going back to the stock racing, with the trucks, the former bodies. I mean, I had to give both of them like an 8 out of 10 rating and maybe like an 8.75 out of 10 rating. I would say there could be some things they could improve, but I mean, I'm not dissatisfied or too hype about it either.
Right. A propane tank exploded at Texas Motor Speedway.
Sounds like it's flooding into the garage.
It's not necessarily NASCAR news, but since it's a NASCAR track, we have to report on it.
Yeah, that was quite crazy. I did not expect it. I just saw the video of like it just going kaboom, You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like just exploded. Thankfully no one was hurt. It could have been way worse. And yeah, I mean, it just surprised me that it would take place and that would happen, especially on a weekend where they're not racing there. It was just quite surprising and shocking.
Yeah. There was like a car show there, I believe, if I'm correct. So that still sucks. I'm not sure if there's any damage to the garages, but still very sad. And the biggest new, or some of the biggest news of the weekend was Daniel Hemrick going to Colleague to replace Justin Haley in the 11 car since Haley's going over to Cup. What is your opinion on that?
They're basically building a super team, I will say. I mean, I'm not hating or nothing. I like Colleague racing. A lot of my favorite drivers are on Colleague racing. It does quite surprise me that Hemrick would go there. I was seeing Hemrick more like a RCR type of guy, maybe even maybe Wood Brothers Racing. But for him to go Colleague, it kind of surprised me. I know that Haley was going to go to Cup, and I feel like Justin Haley definitely has proven that he could make it to that level, but I don't know how well he'll do, of course. It'll take a couple years to get that experience, be able to start being consistent and having great finishes and all that. Hemrick, he's done pretty decent in his Xfinity Series career. He hasn't had many wins or basically being able to contend for a championship. But with Colleague racing, I feel like him in 11 car, that might give him a great shot of maybe even top 5, Final 4 spot in the playoffs next year. I think it's a huge move.
I agree. It is definitely a huge move. I was very shocked by it. I didn't think he'd leave Joe Gibbs, but I mean, apparently he is, and I think that that's a great move since Colleague is on the rise to be the best, in my opinion, the best Xfinity team right now. But yeah, just crazy. I didn't expect that. I thought it was going to be Kaz, but I'm glad that Colleague made the right decision.
Yeah, Kaz going there, I don't think they would get better results, just being honest.
Kaz, in my opinion, is so overhyped. He's mainly good on road courses, maybe super speedways, but they just put him in a Cup ride every time, and it doesn't work for them. And they're finally making a good decision by putting Haley in the 16 this weekend.
Oh.
So,
I will say, sorry, go ahead.
No, you.
I was just gonna say that another thing that was in the news, they released the truck and Xfinity Series schedules. I think today and yesterday. One of the changes I saw people talking about was Portland, the road course in Portland replacing Mid Ohio, which that quite surprised me because I think Mid Ohio has been a good track for Xfinity, but at the same time, it is kind of cool to see them go to Portland because they haven't. I think they've raced at Portland back in the Busch Series and the Busch North Series back in the late '90s, so it's been a long time since they've been there.
I mean, I was not expecting Portland to be on the schedule. Definitely crazy. The schedules mostly look normal, so we're just gonna, review the changes to it. And Mid Ohio got moved to the Truck Series, and also Sonoma was added to the Truck Series, which Sonoma is making its return to the Truck Series, and Mid Ohio is making its debut for the Truck Series. So this shouldn't be too bad. Also, the Truck Series is going to be racing at Lucas Oil, so that will be Lucas Oil Raceway. So that will be very interesting to see.
It's been a while since they've had a race at Lucas Oil for a top 3 NASCAR sanctioned series. There's tracks like Knoxville returning to the Truck Series schedule, and bless you, Mike, I saw you sneeze. But the Circuit of the Americas is on here too. The Bristol Dirt Race, Knoxville. I know a lot of people are thinking that's going to be a huge wreck fest, of course, and Mid Ohio, Pocono. Basically almost the same tracks. Talladega is going to be the third to last race of the season. So Truck Series schedule is looking pretty decent. I'm just going to look at Xfinity, just look over that again real quick. No need for Las Vegas to be there twice, but it is. Road Atlanta, New Hampshire, basically almost the same as as this season is what it's going to be next season. It's almost the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they did move Martinsville to Martinsville's actually the second to last race or the next to last race of the 2022 season for Xfinity Series, but I think the schedules are pretty good. I don't really have too much complaints. I will say there's a couple things I would change.
One thing I think is strange for the Truck Series is that the playoffs start in July, but they end in November. I don't know why they don't start at the same time, but that's okay, I guess.
It kind of makes me think of the IndyCar. How sometimes IndyCar they'll race 3 races in a month, and then they'll go like a month and a half without a race. It's just like that with trucks. There's just like a huge break in between some races.
Exactly. And finally tonight for news, we have all the Cup drivers will be running pink window nets for the Roval, which this is the introduction to colored window nets for the most part. What do you think of this?
I think this is really cool, and I think it's really awesome to see. We've seen pink colored cars and all that, but not window nets. Window nets have usually stayed the same color, so it's definitely new, something new, and it's for a good cause. So, W.
And you can thank Kurt Busch for that. Kurt Busch is just such a good guy. He got a letter from a fan whose mom has breast cancer, and he wanted to know if they could make a pink scheme or at least a pink window net. And Kurt Busch made it happen. He convinced NASCAR to do it, and now everybody's doing it. It's not just Kurt Busch. So that's really awesome to see. And I hope that the colored window nets stay for a while, whether they add camo for military appreciation or pink for breast cancer awareness. I think that would be really cool. And I think that the window net should be the color of what the scheme is. So like say for, I don't know, Joey Logano's primary scheme, the window net could be yellow or red to match the colors. So that's definitely really interesting, and hopefully it works well with the cars.
Yeah, for sure. And it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, October. You did say camo cars. Those are definitely some of my favorite paint schemes. Kind of off topic, but
Yeah.
So if I'm correct, the next topic we have on the show tonight is talking about drivers that we think should possibly get a ride in bigger equipment.
A win. Like who should win?
Oh, win. Okay, so yeah, my fault for misreading that. But yes, basically we were talking about drivers that we think should get a win. One of them is a driver that I picked to win at one point this season, and that is Matt Benedetto, one of my favorite drivers. I really want to see him get a win in the Cup Series. He's just been robbed. He got robbed in last year's Talladega race, and I was really upset about that. Because Hamlin, NASCAR ruined that finish, and even Hamlin fans they don't want to admit it, but it's true. Chase Briscoe, another guy, but he is a rookie, so it will take a little bit of time for him to get a win. Trying to think of some other ones off the top of my head. Do you have any? Do you have come to mind, Mike, already?
Well, since I'm going to branch it out to the top 3 series, here's my opinion. For trucks, I think Carson Hocevar, he's been close a couple of times, and he's been running up in the front recently. And you know what? I'm going to be a fan of Carson Hocevar. I like him. He's got a good personality. He drives really well, and I think that he's going to be the future of the truck series. Plus, is it just me, or does he kind of look like a mini Logano? Like if you look at his stature and the way he talks.
I could see it. And yeah, I mean, I would say the same. It'd be really cool to see him get a win. I could see him getting a win at like a track like Richmond or something like that. But I imagine if I say I don't see him win at a super speedway and then he wins this weekend. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, his strengths mainly are at short tracks. It seems he's had a couple good runs at intermediate tracks in a mile and a half.
I could see him getting a win at a mile and a half. So Yeah, we'll have to see. I like Hoskovar. Like I said, Logano's my favorite driver, and he looks like the mini version of him, just not as aggressive. So I like that a lot. Also, we were both born in 2003, and he's older than me by 9 months. So very cool to see that.
Crazy. I didn't know that. I did not know that. I thought Hostevar was older than me. I was born in 2000. How am I older than Hostevar for almost 3 years?
I know, it's insane. It's
I'm
insane.
blown away.
So I definitely want to support my fellow 2003 baby.
Oh my goodness, bro.
let's
I
see.
had no clue he was that young, and I should have known that. But that is insane. I don't know why, man, but I'm just mind blown right now.
For Xfinity, of course, I got to go Daniel Hemrick. I mean, I think most people would say that. Daniel Hemrick has been close so many times, but just has either choked it or has gotten completely screwed, or their back marker got up to the front by luck, or his crew screws him over. He's just gotten so much crap, and I definitely think that he deserves a win, and maybe Collie could help him get that win, or he could win sometime this season. So we'll have to see how he goes. And for the Cup Series, I mean, there's not too many people that I think would deserve a win. I think mainly Matt DiBenedetto, who, I mean, he's been close a couple of times, like at Bristol. He got robbed there. He got robbed at Talladega last year and this year, actually. But one thing I don't like is that he does like the same sob story every time he loses. So that's kind of a turnoff. But I don't know. Maybe DiBenedetto could get a win. He's a decent driver. We'll have to see what he can do.
I mean, you do have a little bit of a point there. Sometimes it seems like you get a little depressed after almost winning. But I will say a couple other ones that came to mind. Of course, one of them would be Haley Deegan. I know people are going to say, like, there'll be sip in the comments. But I want to see a female driver win. I mean, doesn't anybody? I mean, it'd be kind of cool to see her get a win. Ryan Vargas, I know I'm not a huge Vargas fan, but if he gets a win, that'd be pretty interesting. I would just be worried they might start doing TikTok dances on top of the car in victory lane. That would be my only concern. But I mean, maybe he will get a win one day. He's just had a bad season. He's wrecked multiple times. Another name that comes to mind for me in the Xfinity Series is Ryan Sieg. And Ryan Sieg's been in NASCAR for like at least a decade. He was part-time, and then he's been in the Xfinity Series for most of his career. And he's averaged a lot of great finishes. I mean, he was finished in the top 10 in the point standings a couple times, but he's never gotten a win. So if Ryan Sieg was to get a win, I'd be very, very happy for him. And it'll be a very emotional day for sure. And yeah, it'd be huge. Jeffrey Earnhardt would be another driver, Earnhardt Nation. So another one that comes up for the Cup Series, you kind of nailed them there. Cup Series, I can't really think of one other than, I would say Ryan Preece, maybe. I mean, I don't see him win anytime soon, but he could get one. Then Bubba Wallace maybe could get a win one day. I just don't see it happening this season. And he started off the season strong, and I know a lot of people are saying, he's going to have a great season. I didn't have huge expectations. And then he started off the season strong, and then it's kind of went downhill to where back to mid-pack.
Yeah. For some of your points, Deegan, I'd love to see her win, but I don't know if it will happen. I think she has top 10 speed, but she's just – a lot of people are going to call her overrated because, one, she's a girl and people just love to hate. But I think that she does have top 10 speed and top 10 potential, but as of this moment, I don't see her getting a win. I think maybe she could because she has run solid on plate tracks like Daytona. She's another thing like Daniel Hemrick, except not close to the front. She always is getting screwed over by people, and she's displayed it on her YouTube channel. If you have not watched it, she's complaining that no one races with respect, and she's tired of it, so she's going to race them the way they raced her.
It's just like trucks are a mess. Everyone's just like over their head driving, stupid aggressive, and just wrecks everything. And I don't get it. Like, first restart, we just get absolutely nailed from behind. literally coming to the green on the first restart. Like, really, dude? 170 laps to go. Really gonna hit me right now? Where are you gonna go? I was on the door of the 30 whatever. Just absolutely doors me into the apron. I'm like, dude, I'm in a bright red truck. You know I'm there. Your spotter told you I was there. And it's just, everyone just has no respect. Why? I feel like I'm trying to be super respectful of everyone, but like, I'm over it. I'm done doing that. I'm just gonna go. If I take you out, if something happens to you while I'm going, oh well.
Which I think that's pretty cool to see, and I'd love to see her take some people out, because there are some idiots in the truck series.
I would say that's so true. And
I was almost gonna say Sieg, but he has not been running that well this season, so I kind of just decided not to. But he could win maybe at Bristol or Phoenix. He's had some good runs there.
Yeah, I'm going back to Deegan. I mean, yeah, she's on the social media a lot, and she has a huge following, especially on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, and documents so much about. She talks about behind the scenes things with racing and all that, and it's kind of interesting to see. Like, you get to see more of like the driver's view, going into races, preparing, and all that. And I mean, there has been some drivers that have done that before, but with Deegan, it's more like vlogging. And for Vargas, it's more like TikTok dancing and doing TikTok, bringing TikTok into the sport. So, I mean, I'm not hating or nothing. I will say that there's sometimes I've cringed watching both of their videos, but I'm not a hater. I enjoy watching their content, but at the same time, they don't edit their content. They don't edit their content. They have other people that edit them. So for those that think drivers always edit their own content, that's not true.
No, not at all. Deegan has her boyfriend do it, and he also goes and records the races.
He films, and
he films. Yeah. Deegan also does a lot of like off-roading stuff. She uploads like 2 to 3 videos a week, so you should definitely go check her channel out if you're interested. Carson Hoskovar did a vlog too at Darlington, but he hasn't uploaded one since, which is disappointing because I was thoroughly entertained with his vlog.
Right. I mean, I wonder how interesting it'd be to try to get him on for an interview, Hoskovar.
Yeah, he's answered fans on the Discord server. I tried to friend him on Discord, and he hasn't accepted my request yet. So we'll see. We'll see if I can get Hoskovar on. I'd love to. We'd love to interview a NASCAR driver. So
yep, we still got things in the works. I feel like I'm rambling on, but considering that we just started the podcast this year, we've seen a lot of growth. But at the same time, we've had some ups and downs. We've had really, really cool season. It's been really fun. And this season is surprisingly, it's flown by fast. Don't have any races left in the season, so it's pretty crazy. We will have some content for y'all in the off season. So don't think we're just going to go away. We have stuff we're working on.
And I want to say one more thing before we get in the top 10. I was uploading an episode, and I was kind of mad at myself because I got it up kind of later than expected because I get busy on Saturdays with racing and also working out. And I was mad at myself, but I looked at the channel analytics on YouTube Studio when you upload videos, and I saw that it was the 1-year anniversary of when we created the channel. Not when we uploaded our first video, but when the channel was created. And this was literally just an idea for fun. I didn't think that we'd get 54 subscribers or something like that at this time. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who watches our videos, whether me and you have had fights or we're best friends or we don't know each other. I just want to say thank you. I really appreciate the support on this channel. I didn't think that we'd get this far, and I can't wait for 2022 to make more content and continue to make content this season and over the off season, and even make some more content in the sports podcast.
Yep, back show, and you said it. You said it perfectly. Our next goal, of course, we have a big goal of 69 subscribers, but other than 69, of course, 100. we got the 100 subscriber goal, and we've had some video ideas, and I will say one thing I thought was, we've done reaction videos on the channel before, so I'll think of better thumbnails for the reaction videos and not do a cringy one like that one time, Mike. So I kind of violated you there. So my apologies for that.
But yeah, guys, if you've made it this far, comment below what you guys want to see from us. Any ideas over the off season, because we do, like Christian is saying, we want to make content for you guys over the off season for you guys to enjoy and get your NASCAR fill in. So let us know. We would love to hear what you guys have to do or you guys have to say. But now let's get into the top 10.
Yep, we got the top 10 fall Talladega moments. Now, this isn't Talladega moments of all time for any of the races. It's just the fall races. So at number 10, I have Bobby Hillin Jr.'s upset win in 1986. Roll the clip.
Well, white flag, a persistent dozen come down the line. Hillin first, Wallace second, then they're 3 wide for third position. Allison trying, Allison gets turned sideways by Sterling Marlin. He slams into them. 4-car wreck at the finish.
They got to race to the line.
Meanwhile, they're going to race to the line to decide it here this afternoon. Allison's car destroyed. They're racing down the back straightaway to decide this event.
And so with
going down into turn number 3, the field battling to take it home this afternoon. Out in front, it's still Hillin. Rusty Wallace is there. Tim Richmond. Here they come driving for the finish. This will go down as the all-time incredible finish at Talladega. On the outside, Wallace moving. Hillin stays first. Richmond drops on the inside in the 25 to the tri-oval. Here they come for the line. Hillin wins it.
So in the 1986 Talladega 500, it was race 17 of the season. Bill Elliott was on the pole. And towards the end of the race, he ended up finishing 27th. He had some mechanical issues. Dale Earnhardt Sr. led the most laps with 54, but he had a blown engine. And then all of a sudden, Bobby Hillin Jr. was in contention to win. He was up there trying to get his first win. And then he basically was trying to hold off the field. There was a lot of action, people swapping positions. We saw Bobby Allison up there, Tim Richmond, and then they had a multi-car crash in turn 1, and they raced back to the line, but Hillin Jr. got the win. It was his first and only career NASCAR Cup Series win, and at the time, the 3rd youngest driver to win in the Cup Series.
Number 9 is Dale Jr. getting his 5th win at Talladega as Elliott Sadler flips. Here is the clip.
Earnhardt's new best friend.
I think Tony wants to win this thing just as bad as anybody else, though.
Coming through the tri-oval, they will get the white flag this time.
There he goes. Tony Stewart, take a look at the bottom. He's got no help.
And he lost his spot. White flag is out. Last lap at Talladega. Dale Earnhardt Jr. pushed by the car his father used to drive, the 29 of Kevin Harvick. And the veteran Dale Jarrett behind him.
Harvick did all his work earlier on the bottom, Junior.
Oh, trouble. Jeff Gordon.
And there's the crowd.
Greg Biffle. Casey Kane.
Several cars involved.
But the caution's racing.
No, it's still green. It's still green. Okay. They're still racing at Talladega.
Last lap.
They will come to the checkers this time by.
So there will not be a green-white checker. The white flag is in the air.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. looking for his 5th win at Talladega, works his way back to the front, and Junior, where his father won 10 times.
Oh, we got a car sideways in the
Win number 5, the checker is out, and somebody upside down. Elliott Sadler
again
lands on his wheels.
Yeah, good save right there. You all right?
So in the 2004 EA Sports 400, Dale Jr. led 78 laps en route to his 5th win at Talladega, Earnhardt Country. Sadler flipped coming to the line, like I mentioned. It was the 2nd year in a row that he had flipped. In the victory lane interview, Jr. used a no word, which resulted a fine and a 25 points penalty. His chances at the chase went downhill, and he finished 5th in the standings.
if I'm correct, the next race was Atlanta and he crashed, but it did go downhill from there. And Junior's one of the best restrictor plate drivers, if not top 3 best restrictor plate driver of all time. But moving on to number 8, we got the finish of the 2006 UAW Ford 400, where Brian Vickers took out Jimmy Johnson and Junior to get the win. Roll the clip.
Go. It getting a little wider.
There he goes.
Junior.
Down.
Oh, no!
There's 25. Hook to 48. It takes out Earnhardt and Jimmy Johnson.
Caution is out. The leaders had already taken the white flag.
So is it going to be the 25 or the 9?
There are 19 scoring loops around the track. NASCAR will use scoring loops and videotape to determine the race winner. The checkered flag is out. Checkers and yellow out at Talladega.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Not going to be a popular win for the 25.
This would be considered the wild card track of the chase. The 4th race of the 2006 Chaser Sprint Cup was held on October the 8th, and it was actually repaved. This was the first race of the repave of the track since 1979. David Gillen was on the pole for the first time in his career, and basically towards the end of the race, Junior and Jimmy Johnson were out front. Brian Vickers, Jimmy Johnson's teammate, was there. And then Jimmy went to make a run. Vickers hooked him, and the 88 and 48 crashed. Vickers got the win. He was out front at the moment of caution. It was his first career win, and it wasn't a very popular one. I know a lot of people were pretty upset about that. I remember seeing that race.
In at number 7 is Dale Earnhardt beating Ernie Irvin by 0.5 seconds. Here's the clip.
Here they come. Irvin on the inside.
The shortcut on the inside is going to be of some help.
As they come to the line, dead even.
I think it's like the 3. I think Earnhardt won the race. He was awfully close.
Give it to Earnhardt. Dale Earnhardt has done it again at Talladega.
How'd you win it? By a couple inches. It really is. It was a tough day. Man, it's close racing all day long. Lucky my buddy Neil didn't get hurt. I was thankful for that. Mark got in there behind Ernie and was trying to push him, and Kyle was behind me, and I had to go back down the bottom and suck off the side of Ernie's car to beat him back just about inches. That's all it takes.
This happened in the 1993 Die Hard 500. Not too much to say except for a couple of facts about the race. Like we said, it was he beat him by 0.5 seconds for his second consecutive win, and it was the closest NASCAR finish at the time. This was the first time the 28 Robert Yates Havilland Texaco car was entered following the death of Davey Allison, with Robbie Gordon serving as the driver. During the pre-race invocation, they had a poem by Davey Allison's widow, and Davey Allison's uncle Donnie Allison was driving the car around the track as the song "The Fans" by the group Alabama played in the background, and Neil Bonnet had a terrible crash.
Yeah, it was a very interesting race. There's a lot of facts about this race, and it was sort of like I said, it did have like a memorial and all that, and it was sad in some other ways too, because there was, other than Neil Bonnet's crash, if I'm correct, there was 2 other crashes that happened that day that were really bad. I think one of them was Stanley Smith, and then Jimmy Horton's crash, which were pretty bad ones as well. But the most known wreck, of course, was Neil Bonnet's. Like you mentioned, it happened on lap 132. It was sort of similar to Bobby Allison's crash back in 1987. They both hit the catch fence, and it took them like 2 hours or so to fix the catch fence. They pretty much Bonnet's car destroyed it, and Dale Earnhardt pretty much showed again his dominance at super speedways and got the win. And I thought the finish was pretty cool. But moving on to number 6, we got Dale Earnhardt appearing again. This time winning back-to-back Talladega races in 1983 and 1984. via a last lap pass on the clip.
Only the front two have a crack at it. Those other cars are all a lap or more down. A white flag is out. This is it. The last lap at Talladega is the typical Talladega last lap. Waltrip in first. Earnhardt leans back by about 3 car lengths. The place to make the move would be in turn number 3. He comes out of 2 and squares it away.
I think he'll make the move as he goes into turn 3 right now. He's heading down the backstretch. He makes his move, moves around Darrell Waltrip, bringing Bobby Allison with him. That's what he was hoping he would do. Allison would have an effect on the outcome of this race.
So Allison pulls around. Now here comes Waltrip. He'll get one counter charge out of the tri-oval area. Waltrip will take one more shot, and here he comes. Allison dropping down, giving him room. He moves to the inside. There are lap cars there. Waltrip is coming up. They come up with a lap car, and the winner is Earnhardt. 1 lap to go. As this tremendous group of cars thunders into turn number 1. Terry Labonte in front. Earnhardt is there in second. Then in third, it's Buddy Baker on the outside. Bobby Allison is in fourth. Harry Gant is on the inside in fifth. At 200 miles an hour, all of these cars contesting for the lead. Earnhardt closes ground. He's going to try the high side. Earnhardt going to turn 3 at 200 miles an hour. Winds it up. Fires it in there. And it's Earnhardt going in front. Baker to second. Labonte back to third. It is still Allison in fourth. And now on the inside, Terry Labonte begins to move. Labonte back to second as they switch positions and shuffle down out of the turn. Dale
Right for Earnhardt. They're racing for second back there and opens the door for Earnhardt.
As they come out of the tri-oval, headed for the line. The question will be who will be second. The checkered flag belongs today to the Richard Childress crew. Dale Earnhardt has done it again. The first team to ever win the Talladega 500 2 solid straight times. A brilliant maneuver by Earnhardt in the last moments of the race.
So in the 1983 Talladega 500, Dale Earnhardt Sr. ended up getting the win by passing Darrell Waltrip on the final lap. And then the next year in the Talladega 500 in 1984, Dale Earnhardt Sr. basically, man, what happened to my information? I have my information here as well, but my computer just glitched. But Dale Earnhardt ended up passing Terry Labonte on the final lap to win in 1984. And that race had 68 lead changes, which was one of the most at the time. If I'm correct, it might have been the most lead changes at the time in NASCAR history.
And at number 5 is Ron Bouchard edging out Darrell Waltrip. Here's the clip.
Hey, back tight. We'd like to show you the exciting finish. Here's a call you heard from our Ken Squire. The white flag is in the hand of Harold Kinder. He's about to indicate 1 lap to go. Went Waltrip, then he came high around a lap car going to turn number 1. It is Waltrip for the advantage by 2 car lengths. Waltrip seems to draw away in turn number 1 on the 33-degree banking at the west end of the track for the last time. Down they go into the back straightaway. Last time down that 3,000-foot chute. Labonte goes right back up on the rear bucket. Moving down the inside comes Ron Bouchard. 3 cars go into turn number 3. Waltrip seems to be holding the position. 90,000 people on their feet, screaming, cheering as the field comes out of turn number 4. Down they come. Waltrip still with a slim advantage. Now to the outside goes Labonte. As the tri-oval, Labonte is going for the lead. Bouchard comes up the inside. 3 cars side by side. Too close to call. But I believe that Ron Bouchard has won in a photo finish. Ron Bouchard struck to the inside. He may have won it by a foot. How about it, Donnie? Well, I couldn't really tell at any point who won the race, but if he won, it was by barely a foot. And it's a typical Talladega race. It was really something. I was out of breath myself the last lap, and I'm up here. 3 cars. Job.
So in the closing laps of the 1981 Talladega 500, Darrell Waltrip and Terry Labonte were battling for the win. Little did they know that Ron Bouchard was gaining on them in third. DW and Terry were so busy banging on each other, trying to edge each other out for the win, that Ron snuck in and nosed them at the line. Darrell thought he had won, and then he was shocked to find out that he didn't, and it was Ron Bouchard's first and only Cup win and one of the biggest upsets in NASCAR history.
And I actually did end up posting this on my Savage NASCAR account today, and even on Facebook. And whenever I was, making the script and all that, I noticed that said they were banging and beating on each other on the final lap. Well, that was a little bit of a mistake. I had someone on Facebook say I didn't see them beating and banging on each other on the final lap. I mean, he does have a point. They weren't on the final lap. They were doing it before in the final laps, but not on the final lap. So I do apologize for that mistake. But it was a great finish, 3 wide at the line. And at the time, they didn't have scoring, so there wasn't official timing. But if I were to say, I would say maybe it was 0.09 seconds, maybe at most. It was a very close finish. But moving on to number 4 on the list, we got the controversial finish of the 2008 AMP Energy 500. Roll the clip.
Stewart has never won at Talladega in a NASCAR Sprint Cup car.
He's going to have to do a lot of blocking right here. They've got to run on him. Got to run.
Here they come.
I can't go down there and do that, though.
Actually, I think it's legal on the last lap.
He might have got it right there.
I think it's legal on the last lap. We're looking.
Here's the replay again. Watch a 0-1.
And he got forced down there. I mean, Tony Stewart actually forced him down a little bit.
Well, yeah, if you're going to consider that he only, yeah.
They are saying Tony Stewart has won the race. Tony Stewart is the official winner here at Talladega. They would not allow that pass below the yellow line.
That's the only way that can be. You can't race one way for 187 laps and change on the last lap. You have to be able to take the same deal. Great win for Tony Stewart and his team.
Move. Well, I knew I was going to get one shot at him, and Paul was back there pushing me. I backed it up a little bit going into 3, and I knew I was going to make my move at. And I don't know. I always got told that the rule is if you get forced down there, then you're the winner of the race. On the last lap, anything goes. They always say it in the drivers' meeting, and that's what I was going with. I got forced down there, man. I had a nose inside of him, and I could have piled up the whole field, and I guess that would have been a cooler finish. I don't know, but I'm proud of DEI. I'm proud of the Principal Fan Group. Everybody on this team. ECR engines were awesome. It was a great day for us. We're trying to get this car funded for next year, and second sucks. That's all I can say.
We don't know right now if you are second. NASCAR has not placed you yet. Where do you feel like you should be placed?
Doing burnouts out there right now.
So the 2008 AMP Energy 500 will go down as one of the most controversial finishes in NASCAR history. It was a really good race. Travis Kvapil was on the pole, and there was some crashes towards the end of the race, a couple big ones, and the main one with around 10 to go took out Dale Earnhardt Jr., Carl Edwards, Matt Kenseth, and a lot of the others that were contending for the chase. Jimmy Johnson snuck through. He ended up finishing 10th in that race. But Tony Stewart, he was driving the Subway car. He led a race by 24 laps, and he's trying to hold off Regan Smith, who, if I'm correct, he might have been part-time driver at the time. And Regan Smith was trying to get by him. Stewart blocked him underneath the line, which you're not supposed to do. You can't do that. But NASCAR's like, oh, let's give Tony Stewart his first career super speedway win, and they gave the win to Stewart instead of Regan Smith, even though Regan Smith crossed the line first and was forced below the yellow line. So I thought it was a very bad call. What do you think, Mike?
I think Regan Smith won that race. Tony Stewart forced him below the line. You can see it in the video. And that was one of the major L's that NASCAR has taken.
That was a robbery.
But at number 3 is 2003's Elliott Sadler's flip. Here's the clip.
That's why he's doing what he's doing. He's just mirror driving all over the racetrack.
Oh, trouble! Elliott Sadler over once and a half and on his roof. Now the car tumbling hard onto the pavement in turn 3. Caution is out. A terrible.
On lap 182 of the 2003 EA Sports 500, Elliott Sadler would come down and hit Kurt Busch's right side of Busch's car. His car would spin and fly into the air, doing a full flip before landing on its roof. The car would slide down the backstretch grass into turn 3 and then proceed to flip onto the turn 3 surface, turn 4.5 times before landing on the wheels of the car. Sadler was shaken up but walked away.
It was a very scary wreck, and I didn't see it. I don't think I saw this live. I was like 2.5 years old, but I will say the first time I saw this in a NASCAR movie, I was kind of shocked. I was kind of like, oh man, how do you survive that? I mean, his window was almost broken off the entire car. It was just flapping there. The hood was flapping off. Sadler walked away, but of course he was in a little bit of pain. I remember actually, I know it's kind of a little off topic, but I think in elementary school, the teacher showed that wreck. I think it was like we were talking. It was like a show and tell day, but like we got to say whatever, show whatever movies we had or whatever, and then teacher was like, oh, we'll check out this video Christian brought. It was like this it was a NASCAR 2003 season in review DVD, and it had that wreck in there. Most of the people some of the parents and some of the kids were like, how did he survive that? And I'm like, I don't know. But it was a pretty wild wreck. And speaking of wrecks, at number 2 is the big crash caused by Tony Stewart at the end of the 2012 race. Roll the clip.
Michael Waltrip in the 55 into the picture, pushed by Casey Mears. Kenseth with Harvick behind him. Oh, there's contact. Stewart into the middle of the pack and over.
Fortune's out.
And a huge wreck to end this race. Matt Kenseth is going to get to the finish line first.
The final laps of this race have to be probably the most chaotic and insane pack racing I've ever seen. If you haven't seen the finish, at least the last 20 laps of this race, you need to check it out. It was just insane. 4 or 5 wide racing, even at some point 6 wide down the backstretch. Multiple lead changes, and Tony Stewart ended up getting the lead, coming just a white flag as they came to the final corners. In turn 3, Tony Stewart made a terrible block, mistimed it, took out 25 cars for collected. He ended up flipping over. I remember I didn't see this live. I was listening to it on the radio, and on the radio, they said they thought Kevin Harvick was the one that flipped, but it was actually Stewart. Brad Keselowski, Chase contender, snuck through somehow. He made an incredible save. Jimmy Johnson, Chase contender, was involved. Dale Earnhardt Jr., he was the Chase contender. He was involved. He ended up getting a concussion and missed the next 2 races because of that wreck. Matt Kenseth ended up getting by, and he ended up getting the win. Pretty crazy moment. I know a lot of people would probably say that shouldn't be a number 2, but in my opinion, that's definitely number 2.
But at number 1, this is the obvious choice in my opinion. Dale Earnhardt's 76th and final career win. Here's the clip.
Be on the grass, Ned. He's down on the very bottom of the racetrack. And Mark Martin was on the high side. He's getting shuffled way back.
I'll show you what happened a moment ago with Earnhardt there on the left side of your screen. Watch the 3 car.
That's Rich Bickle on his outside. They go down in the corner, and all 3 cars touch. Rusty Wallace and Bickle touch with Bickle's right side, Earnhardt's right side, and Bickle's left side touch. The side has not been protected the way it was.
I told you the last time we had this many different leaders, we saw a first-time winner. Whoa!
He is on the grass. He really was on the grass, folks. And he don't have mud tires. He was...
Wow. At 190 miles per hour, he was on the grass in the backstretch.
Earnhardt trying to come up through the middle, and Skinner has taken the lead. Going in turn 3, it's Skinner with the lead.
I started to say the last time we had this many lead changes, we ended up with a first-time winner at Talladega. It was Bobby Hillin that day. Will it be Mike Skinner today? Here comes John Andretti. The Cheerios Pontiac flashing by.
Oh, no, there's on the inside, John. He's on the inside. Now they're 4 wide for the lead. 12 per second it is now.
4 abreast. Talking about first-time winners. Skinner trying to hang on. Earnhardt Jr. is a 2-time winner this year. Now they are 5 wide with 3 laps to go at Talladega.
No, there ain't 3 laps of green. There ain't no way they can run 3 laps like this.
Intimidator is scraped and beaten on the right side, but he will not be denied. Mr. Restrictor Plate knows there are 2 laps to go. Earnhardt climbs arms on the high side of Bobby Labonte. Wow. You see him motioning. He's motioning the 55 car of Kenny Wallace to give me a bump. Come on, Kenny, give me a shot.
And Earnhardt is going for the lead.
And listen to this crowd of 170,000 strong.
Richard Childress, both his cars running 1-2 as he comes for the white flag. Oh, Earnhardt loose. Dale Jr. down on the inside, but he's getting it back in. He's on the apron of the racetrack, Ned.
He saves the race car up almost against Bobby Labonte. Dale Earnhardt Sr. has come from 17th spot in 4 laps to lead it on the final lap.
And Kenny Wallace is in second spot, followed by
his teammate,
Joe Nemechek.
Nemechek was the pole sitter, and Kenny Wallace has likewise never won a Winston Cup race. 3 Chevrolets on the final lap at Talladega. $2.7 million and $1 million bonus for Dale Earnhardt if he can hang on. The No Ball 5 contender, Mr. Restricted Plate, Dale Earnhardt comes down and will take his 10th career victory at Talladega in the Winston 500.
A crash as the team across the start-finish line.
Happened in the 2000 Winston 500. In the final 6 laps, Senior charged from 18th to 1st in what many called that he could just see the air at restrictor plate tracks and just knew how to get around there. He held off Kenny Wallace and Joe Nemechek, and it was the second race where in NASCAR history where half the field led. That's a very interesting fact that I did not know. Dale Sr., like I said, where he could just see the air and just go past people. That's some GOAT stuff right there. You can fight me about it all you want. Dale Sr.'s my GOAT. But
yeah, he charged from 18th to 1st in only 6 laps, and it was pretty incredible to see. I mean, him being able to try to maneuver his way, and Junior was actually in the lead towards the end, and it looked like Junior might be able to get the win, and then all of a sudden Junior got shuffled out. And they actually, I don't know if you were able to see it in the clip, but after they crossed the line, there was a big wreck. The only big wreck they had in that race was after everyone crossed the line, heading to turn 1. It was like 5 seconds after Senior crossed the line, they actually wrecked. But yeah, that's this week's top 10 Talladega Fall race moments.
And so let's pick our drivers for this weekend's races. We got all 3 series racing there. For the trucks, I'm going to go with a very surprising pick. Now, I could be very, very wrong about this, so I have a backup pick just in case, but I'm going to go with Derek Kraus.
Oh, my. That's an interesting pick right there, I'd say. He's someone that be interesting to see win. And Jordan Anderson's somebody I think that'd be cool to win, but go ahead.
I was going to say, he led the most laps there last year and was up in the front. And he kind of sucks, but you know what? I'll take it. He can win this race. We'll see.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm looking forward to this weekend a lot. I'm actually going there this weekend. I'll be going to the Truck Xfinity and Cup race. So I will be vlogging, which you'll end up seeing on my channel. But I'm looking forward to this race. I've never been to Talladega before. I've been to Daytona, but yeah, I'm sure this will be a crazy atmosphere there. It's probably gonna be really packed, I'd say. And I don't know how hot it'll be. I know Talladega races are usually hot, but my pick for the truck race, I'm gonna go with Spencer Boyd. If I'm correct, his only win was on a super speedway track, and I know I picked him before, and he's one of my favorite truck drivers. But I'm gonna be a little risky here and go with Boyd.
Yeah, Spencer Boyd won in an interesting call about 2 or 3 years ago. That was very crazy. If you haven't seen that, here's the clip. But
there it goes.
Oh, abracadabra side by side. Oh!
You can't pass. I think, no, the 20 will probably get the win.
So the 13 might be in last.
Then maybe Hurst will get the win. No, Sauter. He cheated.
Did Johnny Sauter actually cheated, I think?
Well, he didn't. I don't know. He pushed the other guy below the yellow line.
What's the punishment?
The rules are
Did
simple.
he mean to push him down?
Well, yeah, he went down the block.
I think Johnny Sauter.
Instead of giving him room to try to pass, he got in his way and blocked him below the yellow line. That's.
Wait, did he actually win?
We don't know yet. They should take it from him because he forced him down all the way down to the bottom. Yeah, the 20.
So the 20 wins.
Wait, not yet. Let's see.
Oh yeah, we'll see about that.
But that's the right thing to do, to give it to the 20. This guy broke the rules, and he went out of his way to block that guy below the yellow, all the way down.
Yeah.
And once he crossed the yellow line, he was out of bounds.
Yeah.
You can't come back from out of bounds and keep your position. I told ya!
Yeah. For the Xfinity Series, this is going to be my most normal pick of the weekend. I'm going to go with Austin Cindric.
Ah, Austin Cindric. I mean, if I'm correct, the 22 has won at Talladega a good bit, mainly from Logano. But I think Cindric's won at Talladega too. And Penske's been pretty strong at Talladega recently. I think that's a good pick. But for me, I have to go with the strongest team of super speedways, and that is Colleague Racing. I'm going to pick Justin Haley to win the Xfinity Series race.
Justin Haley is a very good pick. And for the Cup Series, I'm going to go with Matt DiBenedetto. He got robbed last year, like what we mentioned earlier. He almost won it this year and then got robbed again. Brad Keselowski passed him. I don't know. This might not be the best pick, but I think I'm just going to go with something different, Matt DiBenedetto. And I think if you're a fan of a driver who's barely over the cut line like me, Logano, or someone under the cut line, you'll be very happy if Matt DiBenedetto wins it.
You know, Mike, it seems like almost once every 2 weeks we end up copying each other's picks. I'll say I did pick DiBenedetto to win this race as well. Now, if he doesn't win, I would say Brad Keselowski gets it because Brad Keselowski's won at Talladega multiple times. He's been really strong there. It would be cool to see Matt DiBenedetto get his first win, and he's came close multiple times, like we mentioned earlier when we were talking about drivers that deserve a win. So, yeah, I feel like it's going to be a fun weekend. How many big wrecks do you predict, Mike, for each race? Because I feel like I don't want to see anyone get hurt. Of course, I don't want to see any like really bad wrecks, but I will say there will be a couple big ones.
I'm going to go with 2 big ones this race. Mostly,
In the Cup race?
Yeah, for mostly the final laps. And for the Xfinity and Trucks races combined, I'll go with 6.
Okay.
But yeah, like I said, I know that we don't really add too much insight, but like we should. But for this race, if you are a fan of a driver that's barely above the cut line or even below the cut line, you should be terrified. And you know what? I am terrified this weekend that Joey gets involved in a big wreck. So prayers, please God, don't let him get involved in a big wreck, please.
Championship implications.
I will probably cry if he does, and if you guys cry too, I don't blame you. So enjoy the weekend. Talladega is my favorite track. But yeah, with that will conclude this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. Subscribe to our sports podcast. Follow our social medias, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Peace.